I'm warning you, don't buy on Lake Lanier until you see this video and all that it has to offer. And then you can make your decision on if this is the spot for you. How's it going? I'm Winston Gibbs with the Living in Northeast Georgia channel. I'm here to highlight everything from Atlanta up to Lake Hartwell and everything in between Northeast Georgia, recreation, lifestyle, real estate, whatever you can think of. Today, we're highlighting one of the most desirable lakes in all of Georgia, Lake Lanier. We're on the Buford Dam Park, one of the many recreation areas around the lake where families can come and get public access to their swim beaches. I see kids out here playing while they're on spring break. I saw some people fishing earlier, and the Buford Dam, the start of Lake Lanier, is just right around the corner. We're about to jump in and check out some of the many houses in the different areas and different price points that might be your next dream home if Lake Lanier is the choice for you. Let's get into it. So for our first stop, we're in Cumming, Georgia, which is on the far south side of Lake Lanier. And behind us, we're at the overlook at Habersham Pointe. There's actually two listings here. They're both townhomes, which is one of the easiest ways to get access to the lake life on Lake Lanier, considering the price point of the average sale price. These units were built in 1997. One of them is 1,588 square feet, and the other one is just under 1,400 square feet. They both have 2 beds, 2 baths, and the views are absolutely amazing. They were built in 1997, and they're extremely popular and desirable. Now, I'm gonna walk over here and really show you the best part about these condos and talk a little bit more about the benefits of being in a situation like this. So behind me, you have an unbelievable view of this massive open water channel at Lake Lanier. Now, the Habersham Marina is right back here where it's gonna be a big shared community dock where you can park, you have access to everything that a marina has offered you. You can put your boat in, you can store your boat, you can do those different things. You see there's multiple levels here which provide amazing views into this beautiful waterway. And then there's easy access right down the road, just a quick walk over here to enjoy the lake life. Now, what makes something like this very desirable, or what makes it such a hot commodity? Well, they're listed at only $649,000 and $498,000. Considering the average price point on Lake Lanier is over $1 million, this is easy access to the lake life and lake living. It could be great for if you're retired and you want a secondary home. I mean, you want your primary residence here and you don't want a lot of upkeep because there is an HOA. You don't want to do the maintenance. You don't want to do the other things. You just want to live as easy as possible. Townhomes make that reality. And the other great thing about something like this is, and probably one of the best benefits of Lake Lanier, is that your proximity to Atlanta. With Atlanta exploding like it has been, Atlanta, Alpharetta, Johns Creek, those are all booming areas, and this quick drive can be an easy weekend getaway because it's only about 30 to 45 minutes to get here when you're on the south side of the lake. And so with Atlanta and all that, that's what's created such a desirability to get to this waterway and to something like this. And a townhome with zero maintenance and views like this is a great place to start if you're looking for that Lake Lanier property. All right, let's head on to the next one. Okay, so we're at our next stop in Buford, Georgia, just a little quick drive from Cumming where we were just at. And I say this little gem, but it's gonna catch you by surprise like a lot of the houses here. You see, this house is actually almost 2,400 square feet. It's got 3 beds, 3 baths, and it's over a basement. You see, it was built in 1954, but like a lot of properties on the lake, someone comes in, gets an older house like this that needs work and completely renovates it. They were given a brand new CO for taking it down to the studs at the end of last year, and now it is ready to move in. It's listed at $1.2 million, and the reason for that is the beautiful views. As I step over here, you can see the depth of the house and the walkway down there. It comes with an awesome 2-story deck with a single slip, awesome spot. And in our last video, I talked about good water, deep water, and big water. You see, we're on this beautiful peninsula right now, which offers protection. You're not gonna get a ton of traffic back here, which is gonna make a real bumpy ride or it gets rough. But right around this peninsula, you're gonna open up into those big channels. The views are amazing. You have really good water depth and you get out into that big water really quickly. So houses like this are pretty awesome. They're a great find. It's listed at about $500 a square foot, which is gonna be pushing the high end of what the lake is, but everything is turnkey. You don't have to do a single thing as you step into this house. Now, what are some of the beauties of being in a place like this? I'm gonna walk over and see if we can get another angle over this. See the views of it. I mean, that's just stunning if you ask me. But One of the awesome things about a property like this, with kind of set back in the side, you got a nice long channel, is the recreation on Lake Lanier is top tier. I mean, if you're a fisherman, they've hosted Bassmasters out here, which is one of the biggest forms of recreational fishing in Northeast Georgia and really around the country. You know, you can go skiing, you can go boating, you can go sailing, you can go paddleboarding, rafting. The recreation is unbelievable. We started at the Buford Dam earlier. There's plenty of campgrounds, or if you want to camp, or you want to take the kids out and play, or you just want to go relax, there's plenty of public accesses if you're not ready to get into your primary residence on the lake or your secondary home on the lake. The recreation here is one of the best. Now, a little secret for you is on those busy weekends like Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July, you're going to get such a big influx of traffic from the Atlanta area or from other places, maybe like Athens, or people come down from Nashville or anywhere in the Southeast, because this is such a hub for places. Avoid those weekends, and all the other times you're gonna get out and you can enjoy Lake Lanier at its finest and enjoy the recreation and lake life that it has to offer. This right here would be a great way to get onto Lake Lanier for right at the average listing point for the time being on Lake Lanier. Okay, so we've moved a little bit farther up the lake into the Flowery branch area. This is kind of the line where we start getting onto the north side of the lake, where you see more of the fingers and weaving in and out of different coves, not the big open spots. Behind us, this awesome house on Warpath is over 5,000 square feet. It has 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and it was built in 2021. It is completely updated, luxurious. It is a getaway haven and makes for an unbelievable deal on the lake. It has a swim platform, so you can really enjoy and get out, sunbathe, do all those things, park your dock. Now, this house is listed at $1.8 million. Well, you might be asking, we've talked about elevated prices and with it being so new and so large and having all those features and it being lakefront, why is the price not higher? It looks stunning. And if you see the picture on the inside, everything is top notch. It's got a basement. There's so much space in this beautiful house. Well, when we talk about the big water, the deep water, and all that stuff, we're at the back of a cove where it may get a little bit shallower. You can get out to the big water real easy, but that's some of the things that will affect the prices of the houses and maybe how long they sit on the market. This one's pretty new to the market, so I got a feeling with something like this, it's gonna be a quick sale, but it can make a big difference on the quality of your water and what kind of access you have. Still, if you want that lake getaway, this would be an amazing place to be. Now, we've talked about some of the things that make Lake Lanier amazing. What are some of the other things? Well, being on a lake, I'm a junkie. I'm a little bit of a nut, but the weather here is great. You can honestly, on some of the milder years, you can get in the water as early as March and you can go all the way until October. You really don't have to worry about winterizing your boat, some of that kind of maintenance stuff until you get into those colder months. I mean, the only month I haven't skied is January. We had a Christmas a few years ago, 75 degrees 3 years in a row. I'm a nut. Me and my dad went out and skied. But it's really awesome. One of the other great things about Lake Lanier compared to some of the other ones is that water temperature, because you're not up, like when you get up in the mountains at some of those like Chateau or Burton or Nautilus, those different lakes, the water's so cold. I mean, even in January, it gives you a real crisp and a chill when you jump in, but here you can enjoy the lake year round. The other thing is when you get farther south into like Oconee, Sinclair, some of those middle Georgia lakes or South Georgia lakes, they get a little dirty and murky. So with the Chattahoochee River feeding this and you're right at that good area, you get really crisp, clear water. You can, as you're swimming, you can honestly see your feet when you're sitting there because the water's so nice and clear and it's a great temperature to be in. And something like this for a primary residence would be great. One of the other good things about this area, doesn't matter if you're in Cumming or Buford or Flowery Branch or Gainesville, where we're going to take our next stop, is if you decide as a primary residence, all these areas have really highly rated schools, which make it a great place for a primary residence. And if you're commuting into Atlanta, like I mentioned earlier, it's a short drive, but your kids can get away, kind of get some of the peace of smaller town or smaller field living with some of these schools. They're still big, but you don't have the hectic busyness of the big city like Atlanta has. So it's almost like a little getaway haven. And I really didn't appreciate my lake life until I left and, you know, didn't have it in my backyard like a place like this might offer. But this place is stunning. Let's go take a look and I'll kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about being in the back of the cove. Okay, so for our last stop, we've moved even farther up the lake to the Oakwood-Gainesville line area, still in Hall County. Great spot to be, and behind us we have pure luxury. We're in front of Probst Drive, and this house was built in 2006. It is almost 8,000 square feet. There's 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, amenities galore. It's gated. I mean, it has a gate to the driveway. The views are stunning, has a massive dock. It is really, truly a dream paradise. This house is one of the most expensive listings on Lake Lanier at $3.7 million. Now, I could dream about it. I mean, the space goes on and on and on, and it's almost like your own getaway at a place like this. But think about what this person may have done to get to the point to own a $3.7 million house. And obviously there's wealth creation there. And one of the easiest ways and most reliable ways of wealth creation is real estate investing. Now, this is definitely not the type of property that you would do short-term rentals on, but I've talked about primary versus secondary housing. And so with wealth creation, a lot of those people will invest in real estate. Short-term rentals on Lake Lanier are very popular, and I've referenced it at some of the previous houses we were at, which may make good opportunities. If you look on VRBO or Airbnb, then you're typically gonna get for a night on the low end about $250 a night. On the higher end, bigger houses, more beds, better views, more amenities, those are gonna be over $400 a night. Now, on those big holiday weekends we've talked about, like 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, those times, you're gonna see surge in pricing just because so many people want to have that weekend getaway. Desirable places like lake property, or some people do it at the beach or the mountains. The lake property is a really great spot to do real estate investing. When I think about other luxurious lifestyle things, if you're in the real estate investing and you have the opportunities, I'm sure they have a fabulous boat to go along with their dock. But places like this, it's very easy to get to a lot of the amenities that the lake has to offer. You have marinas that are short drives where they have restaurants. There's other places where there's places to go eat and hang out on the lake. Probably a 15-20 minute boat ride. You can get over to the Lake Lanier Islands by Margaritaville, full resort with golf course and water parks and all that kind of stuff. There's just so much to do, and this is really luxury at its finest with what Lake Lanier has to offer. Again, this is pure paradise, and I think it'd be an amazing place to live full time. I wanted to end this video at one of the most historic places on Lake Lanier. In 1996, Atlanta was the host of the Olympics. As you can see behind me, we got the Olympic rings. We're at Lanier Olympic Park. This is where they did the rowing and canoeing and some of those events. And as a sporting person, I really appreciate and love the history. The other cool thing about Lanier Olympic Park is it's not just good for those things. They have all kinds of events out here throughout the year. They have rowing contests and competitions. As you can see, the buoys back behind me. They have a new boat club across the street where you can do corporate events or other different gatherings. Beautiful space because we're out on another little peninsula area. They have a big parking lot over there where they do food truck Fridays and tons of food trucks come in. They do camps. They do all kinds of things at this park, and it's just a great addition to all the other beauty that Lake Lanier has to offer and the desirability and the amenities that this wonderful area of Northeast Georgia has to offer. I'm glad you tuned in today. If you want to learn more about living in Northeast Georgia, the recreation, the lifestyle, the real estate, the entertainment, everything there's to know from Atlanta to Hartwell to Athens and in between, including great places like Lake Lanier, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll check you at the next one.